All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we back for another show of Just a Fan Podcast.
Awesome.
All right. I am quarter host, the Wildcat quarterback of this thing, the NFL Encyclopedia, Coach Williams. Let me go a different direction this time because I'm always going that way. Down below, Steve White, wide receiver, Morgan State University. Simple. And that direction, the middle linebacker / strong safety hybrid, the defensive caller on the field. He lines everybody up correctly. Pando 316 right.
Line you up like a good barber.
All right, gentlemen, man. Yo, this was a very interesting wild card weekend to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all
It was
think?
good, man.
It was good. It was definitely good.
Yeah.
The first game was between the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks.
First up.
That was the third time they played each other this year. It looked like it was competitive in the first half, but second half, San Francisco just pulled away. Steve, talk to me, man.
It was a divisional game, and they're always going to be good. It just came down to San Fran's a good team, man. And to be honest, Seattle just couldn't match them in the trenches. Everything starts up front. San Fran's O line was better than their D line, and San Fran's D line was better than their O line. And it was just they started a little slow. By Purdy had a couple unsettling throws in the first drive. He settled in, found a rhythm, and it was a wrap, man. Roster wise, San Fran is just they have one of the best rosters in the league, and Seattle, they're not a bad team, but they were no match for them, man. Gino didn't play terrible, but he kind of did based off of the team around him. So I'm gonna say that.
E. Uh-oh.
I ain't said anything yet. You got me
already.
I ain't even said anything. You act like I'm about to fire shots. But
No. See, you got to understand. You got to understand. Hold on. Before you get started, this right here is more than just firing shots. Okay, it means so many different things depending on the mood, the situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's more than just firing shots. Okay, go.
Okay, I was like, you can cue my theme music. That'll be better.
But hey,
you cue that glass breaking. But basically,
I owe you.
Basically, the whole thing with Seattle is they were an overrated team. Okay, 2 years ago, Seattle would not be a playoff team. Okay, they were the 7th seed, and they were the 7th seed for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, and yeah, Geno Smith's a great story and everything. You know, he's been terrible his whole career until this year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And people was like, oh, you know, Geno this and Geno that, and you know, we have people talk Geno the GOAT and all this other stuff like that. You know, and I'm just like, stop the madness, stop it right now. And I'm just like, you know, he played well. He played the best season of his career, his sub-mediocre career.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that the thing is that the only reason why this was even a game was because San Francisco started off slow.
Right.
And they went into, and I'm gonna get more into that later as we talk about this divisional matchup.
Okay.
San Francisco went in there with hubris. They had already beaten the brakes off of Seattle twice.
Okay.
And they're like, we got these guys. It's not a big deal. We went to Seattle Stadium. We dealt with the 12s, and we still whooped their tail. And it's like, okay, we got them at home. It's not a big deal. And they just went in there. They kind of sleptwalked in that first half, especially the defense. And that's the only reason why this was even a remotely close game. And then you had the really dirty play by the safety Abram on Deebo Samuel, where he tried to twist his newly healed ankle that he just came back from, that ankle injury, and the team lost it. And it was like, oh, so you trying to embarrass us on TV? You trying to bully the bullies? Hold my bill. Hold my bill. And proceeded to outscore Seattle 25-6 in the second half. And it was like, yeah, y'all must have forgot who the hell we are. You must have forgot who you are. You done lost your place, Seattle. You forgot your place. You don't run nothing around here. So basically, San Francisco's firing all cylinders. They're healthier than they have ever been. Like, that's one of the biggest things. Y'all know from one of our chat groups, we always talk about, people talk about injuries on their team. And I was like, cry me a river. I'm a Niners fan. Right. We always got somebody hurt.
Yep.
We stay with somebody who's a starter. We stay with that person hurt. What you witnessed on Saturday was a fully healthy 49ers team firing on all cylinders in that second half of that game. The only weakness that they have is starting slow because of hubris. They like, but if they maintain that killer dog mentality, it shouldn't take somebody to have a dirty play on one of your best players to make you say, oh, we about to kick your tail now. It shouldn't take that.
Yeah.
That's the only knock they have. I'm gonna give you an interesting stat. Week 18 was the first week. The last week of the season was the first week San Francisco fielded its starting 22. This entire season. They started 22. So the divisional round was the second game that they started. They're starting 22. They have not played a game all season from week 1 to week 17 with a starting 22 starting the game. And that was you've seen them play. You've seen them play for 2 games like that. They put up 38 and they put up 41. And they allowed, let me see, what did they allow? I forgot how much they allowed, but I mean, it was basically under 16 points.
I gotta say this. Just one thing. So I don't think not San Fran. I don't think Seattle's overrated. I think Seattle overachieved.
Definitely.
I didn't see them even making the playoffs this year. To be completely honest,
I'll buy that. I'll go with you.
Coming in almost last place in the division. So as far as overrated, I don't think anyone thought it would be good. And they're decent, but I don't think they were overrated. I think they were. I pegged them. I think most of us did to not make the playoffs at all.
Exactly.
They got in.
And you know what, Steve?
Cool, you know what, Steve?
I'm gonna do something that a lot of people that's on the really high profile TV shows do. I'm gonna back off a statement based on what you just said. You're right, because they overachieved. They were not overrated. You know how many talking heads there are on these TV shows that will not back down when they wrong. Yeah. You're right. They overachieved because basically the line for that game was what, 11 and a half, 12. It was a double digit line in Vegas, and nobody gave Seattle a chance to win that game except Seattle.
I didn't have them making the playoffs this year.
Yo,
neither did I. No. Neither did I.
Neither
did I.
I didn't have them overachievers. Geno Smith overachieved.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
He overachieved. What he had, like over 4,000 yards passing?
I think he had the best passing percentage from a quarterback. He definitely overachieved this. I mean, no one saw this coming, and he had a good season individually. He absolutely did.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Did either one of y'all had Geno Smith in your fantasy football team?
Hell no.
And there's a reason why.
No, well, there are a lot of better options than that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So
no one had him as a starter. Any real football heads did not have him as a starter. He's probably a backup. They played a week or two. Exactly. No one had him as a starter. You pick quarterbacks in the first 2-3 rounds of a draft, and Geno, ain't nobody getting Geno in the first 3 rounds.
Oh, thank you.
But this team is basically, and I'm throwing dirt on Seattle, but I'm gonna be real. They've got some draft picks. They have a very smart GM, and they're going to be a problem in the near future. That team is extremely young. It's even younger than the 49ers roster. And that roster is kind of young. They're even younger. Like if you want to call the 49ers like teenagers, the Seahawks are preteen. They have the makings.
Well, as far as future, because you got to pay. They got to pick Kenneth Walker. If they're on the pace as far as performing at a certain level, they got to pick Kenneth Walker.
He's a rookie.
I know. I mean, in the future, they got to pay him at some point.
No. I'm not talking about way down the line. I'm talking about you got a bunch of good guys on their rookie deals. Tariq Woolen's on a rookie
running backs on a rookie deal. You got a left tackle on a rookie deal. You got 2 corners on a rookie deal.
And not just
the left tackle, the left and the right tackle on the rookie.
Okay, so running back, 2 offensive tackles on rookie deals, 2 corners on a rookie deal. Your third corner is either on a rookie deal or it's on like a real small contract. You're paying them 35 cents and a bag of potato chips.
And what I'm saying is, when chickens come home to roost, you got to pay all these guys that are performing well.
I understand that.
We hear what you're saying, Steve, but we talking about in the immediate future, like next year, fall 23. They're going to be a problem because they'll be more experienced. They still playing on rookie deals, and Seattle still has a bunch of picks.
Steve, they ain't got to worry about that until like offseason 2026 or something.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. We talking about the immediate future, Steve.
Okay,
We're not
talking about the next 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, and they're going to be a problem if Pete Carroll decides to stay on and coach, because as much as I can't stand him, I think he's a good coach. If he decides to stay on as a coach and cultivate this,
so you're saying,
Steve, hold on, wait, before you start. I understand paying people. I understand salary.
I'm not even going there right now. I'm not going there.
Okay, go ahead.
So my assessment, and I could be wrong, with the trenches, we're talking O-line and D-line. We're talking about several people being paid on each side of the line.
When?
It's gonna.
This
is what I'm saying.
Steve,
you need to bring talent in at those positions.
Steve.
Because they can pay whoever they want now. They're not good.
Steve.
Okay.
That's today, man. What Eric is saying is they got to build the rest of the team through the draft. You're not listening, man. You weren't about paying.
No. I'm listening. What I'm saying is you can draft more inexperienced players. What I'm saying is who they're drafting is not good in the trenches. That's a fact. I'm not making this up. We can say they're young. There are good young players out here. Who they're drafting young in the trenches are not good. So they're going to continue to struggle
Steve,
as bringing veterans in that spot.
So let me drop this number on you, Steve.
Okay.
And God knows I hate the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm not even, if it's coming from me, it's genuine. The Seahawks have $34.2 million as of right now in effective cap space. And that's before the cap goes up at the change.
Matter of fact, hold on. I might be able to give you a more accurate number. I'm going to give you a more accurate number.
How would that be spread? That's the big number to us common folk. But as far as long-term deals yearly, that's a very small number. That's a very small number.
Steve, listen to me. They don't have a lot of free agents. Most of these guys are still on their first deal. They ain't got to do a lot of. What I'm saying is they have the ability to go out and shop for immediate effect, or they can draft because they have a lot of draft picks.
And I agree, but what I'm saying is $34 million. If you're going to bring in quality veterans,
Okay, so that's where you're going with it. You talking about bringing quality veterans, but Eric's argument is why bring in the quality veterans when you can continue to draft players and develop them?
Because Clay, that's working for the trenches. That's working for the trenches, isn't it? That's my point. You can draft whoever you want. Clearly, in the trenches, they're not drafting well enough in the trenches. So when you can't do that, you bring in veterans to fulfill that need. They don't have the
Okay, so
cap
hold
to
on.
bring
Okay,
in that
so
many
let me ask you a question.
veterans in the trenches. Because we're talking about four. We're talking minimum four positions in the trenches of quality, high-profile veterans that can fulfill that need. $34 million is not enough to do that. Is all
Okay,
I'm
now
saying.
Okay. I agree with you. So basically, what you're telling me is that Charles Cross, the rookie, and then whatever the right tackle's name is, they were not good. So basically, what you're saying is they wasted their time drafting them. They got to bring in veteran offensive linemen.
Only because you draft towards your division. Like that's the goal. The goal for every team in the draft, every offseason to win your division first.
Yes, of course.
That's the ultimate goal.
Right.
So the measuring stick is always the best in the division.
Yes.
San Fran's the best in the division.
Yes.
They can't handle San Fran's D line. San Fran's the best in the division.
Okay.
Who they drafted can't match up against them. So the best you can do is bring in veterans that are already established and that can help you with that battle. I get drafting younger guys. I mean, it's great to draft good people, but if your priority is winning right away, it's not there. Now, if you want to build them for 5 years, cool, draft who you want. Bring the coaches in. But
Okay.
if you
I
want
see
to
where
win
you're going.
tomorrow, you need to bring in and have money to pay veterans that are already established in the league.
I hear you.
And
I
they
hear
don't
you.
have the
Okay.
cash. They don't have the cash to do that.
Okay, so
And
wait. All right, so again, that's $34 million before the
No.
cap.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you something right now. According to over the cap, that's about almost as accurate as going to be because they've already adjusted their numbers based on what they think the salary cap is going to be this coming off season.
Okay, so let me get my thought out before you Kanye West me. I'm not Taylor Swift. Okay, listen. I witnessed and Titus is on here somewhere. I witnessed a New Orleans Saints team that was $90 million over the cap, and they managed all kind of cap gymnastics to still wind up with 17 million under by the time the season started. We witnessed this happen last season.
yes,
What I'm saying is that $34 million is not necessarily $34 million. And especially with a GM as smart as John Schneider. Again, I want to be clear. I hate the damn Seahawks, but I give props where they do. And he's a very good, very, very good GM. He's a very good drafter. And I know you're saying, well, you can't bring in young guys to compete with those guys, da-da-da-da-da-da. There are rookies of the year every year. And sometimes you find great rookies in the late rounds of the draft.
right.
Okay. Seattle built their Super Bowl teams off of guys from the third round.
I'm not going 10 years ago. The issue now is the trenches. O-line, D-line. They haven't drafted anybody well at either of those positions.
Okay,
and that's how they're going to lose to y'all every year, Eric. You measure it against your division leader. You can get all the skill positions you want. If you can't win up front, you're going to lose every time.
And what I'm saying is you can go and draft good linemen if your scouting department is good and their scouting department is good.
Well, we're still waiting.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they couldn't do nothing against.
Well, that's because San Francisco is a superlative team.
But not just San Fran.
But what I'm saying is that they're not as far off as you think they are. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not as far off as you think they are. You know, can they hold a candle to San Francisco? Hell no. Okay. But they're not as far off. You know,
I think they are.
And this comes from somebody whose team is in that division, and I watch every team in that division.
Let me ask you, is it not that far? And I know we got to move on. If they're not that far off, then how do they lose to the Panthers? Barely beat the Rams, lose to the Buccaneers. The trenches is where Seattle's lacking. That's where I know he drafts well. If you don't draft the best, O-line, D-line, you're gonna struggle for years to come. That's all I'm saying. And they showed that this year. They lost to a lot of teams they should not have lost to because up front they not winning battles up front. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm not. And here's the thing: I'm not like poo-pooing what you're saying, Steve. But I'm also saying that it's not just a guarantee that they can't find the talent. And here's the thing with me: I hope they never find the damn talent. I hope they don't.
They can find it. They can
I
find
hope
it.
they don't. I hope they
don't.
don't. I hope they don't bring in nobody worth a damn. I hope they don't draft nobody so we can stay kicking their tail and having barbecue sea chicken every doggone 2 times, maybe 3 times a year. So I'm okay with that. All right. So yes, Tristan, thank you. Get off the pole and come on in here and start commenting. And I know you're trying to make that money, make it clap for some dollars, but come on in here. So start typing and come on here and talk.
All right. That was a good debate. That was a good one.
Nah, it was. Be honest with you, I see where both of y'all going with it. Eric is saying that Seattle's closer than you think. Steve is saying that they're not as close as you think because for different reasons.
Okay.
I mean, they made the playoffs with this pool. I mean, what they had this year, they made the playoffs with that. Okay. Now, granted, 2 years ago, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. They'd have been at home. San Fran would have had a week off. And I hate the expand of the playoffs. Don't even get me started by college football playoffs. What's about to happen, that travesty. But, they still made it. They still made it. Definitely. There are a lot of teams that wish they could make it. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. The Saturday night game was interesting. It was interesting because the Chargers were dominating. Okay. Halftime, I'm thinking this game is over. The Chargers going to win. Next thing you know, you look up, game is over, and the Jaguars win.
I guess.
Why? Talk to me. Anybody. I don't care who.
The Jaguars are not great, but you can't sleep on them. You can't let the foot off the gas. Dallas did it. Clearly, Dallas suffered because of that.
This is a team that's on their way. They're not there yet because I really feel like they're gonna get curb stomped this weekend. We'll get into talking about the games that's upcoming, but I think that's probably gonna be, if I was gonna lock a game for all the games this weekend, that will be it. Kansas City and Jacksonville. But Jacksonville will swing on you. They're gonna swing on you. They're not finna stand in the corner and
that's
just take a body blow.
They're gonna swing, and if you're chilling.
They'll swing.
If you get relaxed, they're gonna get first downs. You may get a good lead. You may want to burn some clock. If you're not getting first downs and scoring, they can, like Eric said, they're gonna swing on you. We felt that firsthand.
Me and Brandon been saying this all season. What a difference coaching makes. Whenever we talk about the Jaguars, we say that. What a difference coaching makes.
Oh yeah.
Listen, during the offseason, I said it on here that I love their front seven. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I did. I said that. I also said, let me go back and find it because I know I got it written down in here. Give me 1 second. Because I said something because I had made sure that I had confirmed and I wrote it down. I even wrote the date down. What I do with it? I said something about Jacksonville was going to win the division like 5 or 6 weeks before it happened.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's a crap division anyway. So they definitely were the best team there.
Sure.
I mean.
Jacksonville's another team that, hey, if they draft well, they could be making some kind of noise in the future. Yeah. The arrow's pointing up for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, as of today, they own that division because I don't see anybody else really.
And I really think
the only team that even comes close right now is Tennessee. And be honest with you, I don't like the quarterback situation compared to Trevor Lawrence.
No, I agree. Man.
And Derrick Henry continues to get older.
They definitely have a really good roster, man. And Trevor Lawrence, man, this is his breakout season because people were like, man, is he who he thought he was gonna be? And he had a really good season, man. He's performed. He's in the divisional round. KC better not sleep on them. They better not get comfortable.
Yeah, no, that you're right. And I also think that that Trevor Lawrence had all that pressure on him being that pick, and now he just settled into his happy place.
Well, not
You
just
know,
that.
and
Sorry, go ahead.
no, but yeah, he's kind of settled into his happy place, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna just go out here and play like I did at Clemson. I'm not gonna try to save the world like he did his rookie season. Not to mention he had horrible coaching too. So
And
there's that,
and his weapons are healthy now. ETN's
Yes.
playing now. Really on the team still. He had Kirk this year. He had Ingram. He has weapons.
I think Evan Ingram was really the difference maker.
Dude,
Of course, that's a tight end.
Yes.
A tight end is
Quarterback's best
always
friend.
a young quarterback's best friend.
Yes, sir.
Always have been, always will be.
Man, if they and the defense is decent, it's solid enough. Man, if their first two picks are O-line and secondary or pass rusher, they're gonna be scary moving forward.
They can get pass rusher later. They only pass rush too soon because they have the kid out of Georgia, and then they got Josh Allen, not the quarterback course, but the edge rusher Josh Allen. So
some
people call him the real Josh Allen after that game.
Well, defense. If they get O-line and defense, the first two picks, a good defensive player and a good O-lineman, they're gonna be scary moving forward. Scary.
We're gonna be hearing Duval.
Thank you, prolific Rambo.
You're gonna be hearing Duval.
Oh, hey, look. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings one time, and Jacksonville had just won, and I heard the Jaguar fans screaming out Duval, and I said, "Say it again, Duval."
Hold on, I see a comment here. Staley needs to go right now. Justin Herbert needs to mature.
Oh yeah.
So does that mean that Herbert's not gonna have a better career than Pat Mahomes? Could that be what Tristan is saying right now?
You petty and you messy, Steve.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think I'm correct about that yet again.
Steve being petty.
I'm just saying.
But Justin, okay, so here's the thing with Justin Herbert. He can only go so far as his coach takes him. Right. That's a large part of it. Now, right now, Justin Herbert is looking real Kirk Cousins-ish.
And Staley's on the bubble right now, for sure.
Oh, no, he really is because
Staley's on the bubble.
If you had to fire your head coach, if you had to fire your OC and your quarterback's coach, he's on the high.
Dude, that means that what that translates to is Staley like, please don't fire me. I'll change him and him. Give me one more chance. That was the conversation.
He
I
was
promise you.
Threw him under the bus. They got contracts on their back. He threw him under the bus.
I'm gonna try this and that. Please, just I'm gonna get rid of them. They were the problem. This dude is on his he may not even last. Depending on how they do, he may not last the full season next year. This dude is he's damn near fired too. He's damn near fired too.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Think about the game that got them out of the playoffs last year. That was a coaching decision or a coaching indecision. Then you look at this debacle where your defense was it 4 turnovers they got?
Right. Yeah.
And then you turn around
4 turnovers in the first half.
And can't do nothing with it. Most teams who turn over the ball, get 4 takeaways, they walk out of that game. They win that game going away.
I don't know the number.
What was it, a 27-point lead?
I don't know the number on quarterbacks giving up 4 turnovers and still winning the game. It's probably 0% in the playoffs.
The win probability was through the floor. Okay. But yeah.
Titus.
All I'm saying is this is not the first time that Brandon Staley
messed up.
Has botched up an opportunity. 20-point lead at the half.
And the thing is,
should have closed that game up, and that's sad. That's sad for a head coach not being able to close out a game.
So I think we have a consensus here that the bra moment of the week is definitely Brandon Staley's existence.
Yeah.
That has got to be.
But this is the thing. it's like if you look at that division, their rosters are excellent.
Yes,
So do you really think stuff is I'm not gonna curse. Stuff is not gonna get easier next season, man. These rosters are good. You were lucky to get into playoffs this year. You think you it's gonna get dude,
it
you
was
better win the division. He
it was
better win the
Tristan.
division next year. If he
It
don't
was
win the
Tristan.
division, oh man.
It was
Call him
Tristan.
out.
Somebody said somebody
Oh,
actually said that Herbert was gonna be better than Mahomes. I'm gonna tell you right now because I don't want you to put it on me. It was Tristan that said that. It wasn't me.
I'm about to
It
tell the
wasn't.
story.
It
I'm about to tell
wasn't
the
Pando
story.
316.
But when the Chiefs were I think were 1-3, 1-4, 2-4, that claim was made. Um
matter of fact, it was last regular season, right? Not this one that
it
just
was
finished, but the
absolutely
last
last
one.
season. It was absolutely last season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after Pat Mahomes already won Super Bowl MVP. Someone said Justin Herbert's gonna have a better career, but we're past that. Let's move on to the next game. Let's move on. Let's move on.
All right.
I'm not gonna
So
beat up Tristan.
the next game was the game up in Buffalo where it's cold.
Mm,
And
it was
you
cold.
know,
Temperature
you
ain't
know
had
that
nothing to do with it.
you know they were playing for their brother, man, their teammate, Hamlin, DeMar
Temperature
Hamlin.
ain't had, hey man, temperature ain't had nothing to do with that. Because here's the thing.
So
Here's the thing. Miami, even
Yeah.
if Teddy Bridgewater would have played, not Tua, but if Teddy Bridgewater would have played that game, Miami had a chance to win that game at the end.
They did, and I
Because that
said it.
defense kept them in the game.
I've said it.
yo, you muted.
I've said it. I've said it for 2 years now.
Yo, what's going on
Buffalo,
with you?
Buffalo cannot run the ball or stop the run, and they rely on Josh Allen's arm to do everything. You can't win playoff games like that.
Josh Allen is a really big quarterback and he's very mobile, but you can't keep going back to that. You're going to get a guy hurt. You're going to get the man hurt. But that being said, he was not on point this weekend. And Miami's defense kept coming up with turnover after turnover after.
Yeah.
And it kept them in the game. What I think that the really what lost Miami that game was the fact that it is really not his fault. He's a rookie. He was a rookie quarterback. I think he was starting maybe his second game. His clock management was horrible. Like Mike McDaniels used up all three of their timeouts in the second half.
Sure did.
Behind preventing delay of game penalties. It wasn't like strategic timeouts. It's like, oh my God, he's not paying attention to the clock. Timeout. So he used up all those timeouts. Joker did it again.
Yeah.
And finally got that delay of game penalty. But they were still in that game. You get a quarterback with a little bit more experience. None of those timeouts have to get called. And Miami has time to move the ball. Again, they're playing in a system. This is Mike McDaniel. This is one of Kyle Shanahan's disciples. This is a system that's quarterback friendly. This is a system that is quarterback friendly. Basically, the quarterback just has to play point guard. The quarterback doesn't have to save the world. And there were a lot of instances where this kid took shots he wasn't supposed to take.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just his inexperience. He wasted a lot of clock in the huddle trying to bark the plays off. I mean, I don't know if y'all watched that game, but he's on his wristband, like trying to say the plays and everything. Then he's repeating it. And I'm like, the clock's running. I said, this clock is running. This play clock is running. This play clock is running. They about to get a delay. Okay, they call timeout. Damn, they running out of timeouts. I kept saying they running out of timeouts.
Yeah, man. That's my issue with Buffalo. And I've been rooting for them ever since Stephon got there. And what they do every year, McDermott is an arrogant freaking coach, man.
Oh, you talking about Buffalo? I was talking about Miami.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying he thinks he can outmatch everyone. He thinks he has the best roster in the world. He thinks he can throw 40 times with Josh Allen instead of having a balanced offense and getting the chains. Because every playoff game, this is what happens. They run the ball the first couple times. They're gonna get tons of yards. They abandon the run. They put it in Josh Allen's hands, and then at the end of the day, the secondary gives up a play because a quarterback can only do but so much. You need a balanced offense to actually be a championship team. McDermott doesn't know that. They lose. They get down. Allen's throwing it. He's running it. They don't get first downs. Next thing you know, they're losing. Last year, they have a big play deep in the game. But if they run the ball as evenly as they throw it, man, they're being in a much better position. They have good running backs. They have a decent O-line, but they just abandon the run. And they lose every year in the playoffs because of that.
I'm going to beg to differ with you a little bit on that, just a little bit.
Okay.
The run-to-pass ratio for the Bills was 39 passes to 26 runs.
Right
and
now,
they ran for 100. They ran for 107 yards with a 4.1 yard average.
it's gonna go away. I promise you. Next round, I promise you. They do it.
Well, I think it's gonna go away because of who they got to see.
I watch them as much as I watch the Cow. It's gonna go away. Just watch. It's gonna go away.
Buffalo is the kind of team that will end up shooting themselves in the foot, and
it's gonna go away.
They will always be AFC contenders, borderline Super Bowl contenders. But this could be a franchise that could always end up shooting themselves in the foot and never making it to the Super Bowl.
If they stay close, if they stay true to the run and keep that in their offense, then they'll win the game. But they always abandon it because it gets in the shootout mode. Okay, this quarterback is doing a little better. All right, this drive only ran for 1-2 yards. They abandoned it. And Josh Allen, be Josh Allen. He's running, he's throwing, everyone's covered. It's panic mode. It happens every year. It happened the past 3 years straight.
The best teams.
I hope it would change.
At the end of this season, and when we get to the Super Bowl, the two teams that are going to be there are the teams that play the best complementary football. When I say complementary football, I mean they have a good balance between run and pass, and they play solid defense. It don't have to be exemplary defense, just solid defense with a balanced offense. You can't do too much of one or the other. So complementary football, that's why they came up with this whole new category called DVOA.
Absolutely.
And the DVOA, I follow David Lombardi a lot. He talks about that. They're first tier, second tier, third tier teams because of their DVOA. It's still it's kind of like that QBR. It's still a weird stat to try to calculate, but it makes a lot of sense. But Buffalo, I think they're going to play differently. They had a little bit of a scare because this was a game where it's like, hey, man, we playing Miami. They don't have a first-string quarterback. They don't have a second-string quarterback. We're at home. Let's just go out there and just do whatever. And I think they're going to take this next game way more seriously because they got to see the Cincinnati Bengals.
They better. They better.
But this is my fear.
My only problem with Cincinnati, and we're going to get to that later, is Cincinnati's missing 3 offensive linemen. But let's go back.
I was going to say, we're going to get – because that's relevant. That's very relevant. But moving on to the next game we're talking about, we're talking about the Cincinnati versus
Ravens game.
Game.
This can be quick. No one thought the Ravens were going to win that game. No one thought that.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. It's been a bunch of memes. It's kind of funny. It's like there's a meme of Lamar Jackson standing on the sideline, and it's like, Lamar, we losing. Lamar's like, nah, y'all losing.
Nah.
And that tickled the hell out of me. I was like,
that's funny. No, but but real talk. I know Ravens fans were rooting for Ravens, but no one thought that the Ravens were going to beat the Bengals without Lamar Jackson. Like, no one thought that. Like, no one really believed that was going to happen.
No,
it was closer than what it should have been, but everyone knew the Bengals were going to win that game.
Yes,
deep down in their hearts, everyone knew that. That's quick and easy. No one, come on now.
Yeah, but Cincinnati does have something to this area of concern because they're right back where they were this time last year with a questionable offensive line. Because we said Cincinnati has a solid offensive line. They're going to be destructive. They are going to be nuclear option
Yeah.
almost, because they have a balance. Again, there's that word, that complementary football. They have a balanced attack. You got 3 really good receivers, but you also have an outstanding rushing attack.
Yeah.
And Burrow gets the ball out quick. He gets the ball out quick too.
Yes, he does.
And he puts it in
he
the
ain't
right
got no
place.
choice now. He got to get it out quick now.
Yeah,
because the
Oh,
way that
he's missing
line is
both offensive
looking.
tackles. Do you know how hard it is to when you're missing both offensive tackles? Shoot,
Yeah.
That's not a that's not.
But last year they didn't have a good O line, and they made it work to the fact when they went to the big game, and
That's true.
they could have won that. So I gotta give
also,
their coaching staff credit and kudos.
Steve, what you also got to remember though is when they beat Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill threw 3 interceptions, dude. Almost any other quarterback doesn't throw those 3 interceptions, and
Right.
Tennessee beat Cincinnati.
But what I'm saying is they've made it work for how bad the O line is. They've adjusted.
That's true.
They play around that. They know how to use that in some kind of way to still win, still get first downs and win games. I mean, we're gonna see, man. Again, my fear back to Buffalo is like if you get in the shootouts, if you can get past your next opponent, if you get in the shootouts with the Chiefs or the Bengals, man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a battle.
That's tough. That's tough. Because Josh Allen might not be able to hang like people thinks.
Yeah.
All right. Another wild card game from Sunday. Giants and Vikings.
Well, let's go ahead and keep it going. We all knew that the Vikings.
No.
What?
You and Tristan last week were talking about Minnesota was going to win because they had the better quarterback. And I was the one. I was the one who said, I said, yeah, you do have. I said, Kirk Cousins is the better quarterback. I'll give you that. But when it came to coaching, and I told you, I said, I like Wink Martindale's defense.
Okay, first of all,
I remember. You
no. Don't me again. I ain't Taylor Swift. Hold on, wait. No, don't talk over me. Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not finished.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not finished.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not finished.
I don't give a damn if you finish or not. Don't put words in my mouth.
I wasn't finished. You don't.
I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say like Stephen A. said. I don't give a damn.
No.
I didn't say nobody was gonna win.
What do you say, Brandon?
Hey, you want to check tape?
No.
The tape don't lie. You want to check tape?
No.
You want to check? You can talk about you dibba jabba all you want. Let's check tape.
I can pull the tape up. I can pull the tape up. I can pull the tape up.
Don't put words in my mouth,
because I remember.
You messing with the wrong one. You put words in my mouth. Ain't nobody saying nobody's gonna win a damn game.
Kirk Cousins was the better quarterback, and Minnesota would win. I remember both of y'all saying
I'm
that.
Let you talk because you're talking nonsense.
And I told you.
Those that watch you, go ahead and pull up the video from last week and see what I said.
I like Wink Martindale's defense. You don't get no take backs. No, sir. No, sir.
So Brandon, okay.
No.
So Brandon, so.
Go ahead.
So we get to Brandon and Eric. So Brandon, so you say, so what did he say? And I have Eric say what he said.
Him and Trisha said that Minnesota was the better team because they had the better quarterback, and I said, be careful because I like Wink Martindale's defense. I know Wink Martindale, he's going to give Kirk Cousins the business, and I know Kirk Cousins. And who ended up winning? New York Football Giants, NFC East. Let's go.
Okay, B. Okay, coach. All right. So Pando. Pando, tell me your version, Pando.
First of all, I need you to get your asthma pump, and I need you to
I don't need no asthma pump.
Hold on, coach.
I give people asthma.
No. You talk.
Coach, let him
adults
talk.
are talking now. The
Come
adults are talking now.
Let him talk real quick, coach.
Thank you. First of all, I came on this damn show last week, and I said I wasn't gonna make no damn definite ass picks about no damn playoff games because it's the playoffs.
You said quarterback.
It's the playoffs.
Coach,
no. You sat right there with your Fisher Price headphones on.
Somebody don't want to admit when they're wrong.
I said
somebody don't want to admit when they're wrong. Somebody don't want to admit when they're wrong.
Coach, let me go.
If you gonna keep talking, see that's how you know you're wrong because you still running your mouth. You had your chance to talk.
Coach, let me finish, coach. Let me finish, coach. Go ahead, Pando. So Panda, you're saying that you didn't say.
Buccaneers.
So Penny, so you say okay. So you say you didn't say it.
I
So
made
what
no
was your stance?
predictions last week. Because in fact, I made a big point about it. I said I'm not making any predictions because this
He
is the
said Kirk
playoff.
Cousins was the better quarterback.
Okay.
You had
Now
the
you
Vikings,
might have
you had
me
the Vikings beating the
confused.
Giants.
You still talking over me. That's what
Vikings
we
beating
gonna
the
do.
Giants.
You gonna Skip Bayless me?
He
I
said,
ain't saying to show up. I'll cut your ass out.
he said Skip Bayless me.
I
All
ain't
right.
Skip
Don't talk
Bayless.
over
Okay.
me. Don't talk over me.
Don't call me no Skip Bayless. I fucking hate Skip Bayless. So don't
Okay,
do that.
well you can hate Skip Bayless. Quit acting like him then.
Don't do it.
Act like
All
you
right.
got some goddamn
Don't
sense.
do it. Anyway, like I said, Dallas Cowboys beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Steve, talk to me.
That was Dak Prescott's best playoff game by far. It was against Tom Brady. The Buccaneers aren't good. I'm glad that we won. I like that we won the way we did. We need to win. We gotta start better if we're gonna go against, and this can steamroll into our next game, next round. Play a lot better going against a San Fran defense and offense. Hopefully we can. It's not much celebrating. It's great to not lose, but it wasn't a huge accomplishment beating Tampa Bay's Tom Brady and them. He had a lot of bad throws. They had no pass protection. They had no pass rush. I mean, one of the last touchdowns from Dak, he hiked the ball. He was walking literally. He didn't take them serious, so he had no pass rush against them. I enjoyed it, but we got to refocus for the San Fran team coming. It's going to be a big game, probably the most watched playoff game in probably the past 10 years.
Probably.
Okay, so here's the thing. Dallas went into, which is very hard to do in the playoffs. They went into this game as a 3.5 point road favorite. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 8-9 team coming from absolutely the worst division in football. Okay. First thing first, let's talk about how bad Tom Brady played. Okay. No, we don't even want to talk about Dallas's kicker right now. We'll talk about that as we go into these other games.
Yeah,
That factors in later. We'll talk about that. But the thing is, you have Tom Brady, and I know Dallas got a lot of pressure on him the other night, and that's cool. But there were times when Tom Brady had actual time in the pocket, and he was throwing dirt bunnies, or he was sailing passes. And if there was ever any inclination that Tom Brady needed to go to the house, this game was it. Okay. Because Dallas defense played great, but it wasn't all Dallas's defense that made Tampa look bad. Let's call a spade. Tampa Bay has not been a good team all year. Okay. So let's put that out there. They finished the season below 500.
Right.
Okay. So, the only reason why they got to the playoffs, they got there by default because the division is so abysmal. But the next thing I want to talk about, and there's rumors about it, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but there's rumors that Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is on the hot seat and could possibly be fired.
Yep.
Okay. It hasn't been confirmed yet. A lot of people say it has happened. It has not happened yet, but I can see why. And here's why. Do y'all know how many times Tampa Bay ran the ball last night?
10, 12.
12 times. In a 60-minute football game, they ran the ball 12 times.
Yeah, you can't
Can anybody tell me what Dallas is ranked against the run in the NFL?
27th or something, 29th, whatever.
They're in the bottom half. And you, as an offensive coordinator, you ran the ball 12 times. Now, somebody might come on and say, well, they were stopping the run. Well, here's the thing. Rashad White finished the night with a 5.9 yard average.
But he started getting the ball once we were already up by a lot.
But the point is that they were still running the ball effectively. Byron Leftwich abandoned the run well into the first half. They just went past crazy with Tom Brady. Not to mention the types of passes that were being thrown was not conducive to what the talent of the Buccaneers team was. They did not take advantage. The first thing you got to do, if you read Sun Tzu's Art of War, you engage your enemy where he's at his weakest point, on the field of battle at his weakest point. You had the advantage for geography. You had the advantage in a lot of ways, but you attacked them at their strength. They Byron Leftwich attacked the Dallas Cowboys where the Cowboys were the actual strongest, which was stupid.
True.
And it's like, you do not abandon the run. Most of the teams who have had success against the Cowboys did not throw at the Cowboys as much as they ran. The Cowboys have won some games that other teams are still Chicago game. The Chicago Bears ran for 240 yards in one game on the Dallas. They lost the game because of turnovers, but they were able to rack up 240 yards. That keeps you in the game, and it keeps your quarterback upright, and it makes your pass, your play action pass, makes it way, way, way more easier. They wasn't fooled by play action.
Now, it's also the entire offensive scheme. So like Tampa's run, right? Okay. First down incomplete. Second down, you get 6 yards. Now you average 6 yards a carry. Third down, you throw, you don't get it. Your running back still average 6 yards a carry. Another drive, he gets sacked. It's a penalty. You run the ball. You get 6 yards because it's 1st and 15. You throw 2 incompletions. Your running back still average 6 yards a carry. So the average per run is good for running back's numbers, but it can be deceiving looking at the situation of when he got the yards too. Now, they abandoned the run. They should not abandon the run. But I got to give credit because Tom Brady can still play football. He can still throw. He had some bad passes yesterday, but a lot of his receivers, they had clean pockets, but a lot of them were still covered. He overthrew some, underthrew a lot. But he threw some that were just clean out defended. Dallas got away with some defensive holdings, but Dallas's pressure mixed with coverage. I mean, if Dallas' defense is bad, he would have done better last night. It wasn't all Tom Brady. It was a combination of Tom Brady and the scheme, because Tom Brady made some horrible passes. Like literally, I've watched Tom Brady. I've watched Tom Brady since he's first started as a starter. And when I tell you this is the worst game I've ever seen Tom Brady play in his career, it was the absolute worst. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I'm not talking about where the passes were defended. I'm not talking about where the pass rush got to him. There was some passes where he stood flat-footed, was able to set his feet, had an open receiver, and just flat out one-hopped it.
But you know what, E?
There were a couple of those. Other times they were covered a lot of times too.
And then going back to Byron Leftwich, Tom Brady threw the ball 66 times.
That's true. But
that's a horrible ratio. 12 runs to 66 passes.
I agree with that one too.
Oh my God.
I think Dallas was just in Tom Brady's head, and because of that, it just made things worse for him. Once a quarterback is in his head and he can't get out of it, it's over. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, I mean, throwing 66 times, it's like you can't win any game, especially a playoff game, doing that. I mean, and their O-line their O-line and their receivers aren't even good enough to do that. Now, if you have a Bengals receiving core or a Bills receiving core, even maybe Minnesota, if you have that core, you can do that. You got old Julio Jones, old Mike Evans, Gage injured, Godwin got injured. Dude, you don't have no Gronk anymore. You have a very average receiving core that you expect to get separation. We're not good at stopping the run, but we can get some pressure on quarterbacks. That's a fact. People in your face, you're looking for someone open, that ain't gonna happen. Not with Tom Brady. Not who Tom Brady has.
And that goes back to my point of saying they got into Tom Brady's head and Tom Brady couldn't get out of it.
Yeah. He can get out of it. He just didn't have the weapons to do it.
Yeah, this is I really feel like Tom Brady needs to go ahead and go to the house. He has nothing left to prove.
I agree. He has nothing left to prove.
Nothing. He really should have went to the house earlier, And I mean, for the love of the game, but I'm a fervent believer of him just and I don't agree with the in his head thing because this is Tom Brady who's been in some very high pressure
I
moments.
understand that.
Some of the
Nah,
highest
man,
of the
that
high
pick in the
pressure
end
moments.
zone, that pick in the end
understand
zone, I was like, all right, he ain't got it no more.
Yeah, no. I agree.
Dog.
Physically, he don't have it anymore.
Dog, that pick in the end zone, that's mentally. He was like, I'm gonna throw this away. He threw it right to the safety.
Eric,
Like you could throw it away better than that, Tom Brady.
Eric,
Like you could just literally throw through the uprights and
It,
you're
it
Eric,
was, it was the worst game I've watched him play.
Eric, Eric, you're a Texas man, right?
Yeah,
What happens when you cut the head off the off a rattlesnake?
that snake still flop around. As a matter
Yeah,
of
but how,
fact, that
how
head's
long?
still gonna bite you
For how long?
for several minutes. Actually,
Well,
I'm speaking from
well,
experience.
I understand that, but you said several minutes. You ain't got several minutes in the NFL.
Okay, well, yeah, they don't use that analogy then, because that
No,
yeah.
no, no. What I'm saying is Tom Brady became the head of the snake.
Tom, if that's the case, the head been cut off the snake since early this season.
He had a bad season.
It
The
wasn't
whole
just this
season,
game.
yeah.
It wasn't just this game. It's been this season.
And you know what? And remember his Super Bowl year, they almost lost to Washington when Heineke was quarterback. They almost lost that game, if you remember, a couple years ago.
That was when we discovered Taylor Heineke.
Exactly. I wonder if Washington would have won that game, if Brady would even still be playing right now. I really wonder. They barely won that game, man. I remember that vividly. They won by like 7, 8 points that game, maybe 9.
I think it's about 10 or 11, but even still, like it shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
It should not have been that close. That was the year Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
They escaped. They escaped Washington to go on to win the Super Bowl.
Could you imagine if Washington had a better quarterback?
That's what I'm saying. If they would have won that game, the Brady wouldn't even be playing right now. I don't think.
You think he'd have went to house after that?
He might still be. I'm not gonna get into
this is my personal take. I think when he won that last Super Bowl, he had nothing left to prove. He should have went to the house. And
I agree.
And he's like, you got people that just tarnish their great careers by still hanging on.
It's a little greedy. It's greedy. It's a little greedy.
The man is literally 2 years younger than me. That's insane. Like we could have went to high school together. I'd have been like a senior. He'd have been like a freshman or sophomore.
Yeah, it's a little greedy. We all have ambitions and our own personal greed. But his is on a whole different level. But
let the proof.
It's all stuff. It's all stuff that we love and probably can't get enough of. If we're being real,
Yeah, but that for me is just Twix candy bars. I can do without. I like that's it. I like fried catfish and ice cold beer. I can go without some days. But
oh man,
what Tom Brady's doing is affecting other people. And right now, if he goes elsewhere, if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization, I'm ready to go ahead and start a fire sale because they're not.
I agree. Just trade players, get picks. Trade Evans, get picks. Trade Chris Godwin, get picks. Trade Vita Vea, get picks. Just get picks. Start over.
Yeah, because it's not looking good right now.
It's not. It really is.
Because you got to realize all is going to take. All it's going to take is a team like the New Orleans Saints to get a viable quarterback.
Yeah,
and they're right back into things. They already got a defense. They already got a defense that's shutting people down.
I'm probably keeping Evans if I'm them to mentor the young guys coming in. He's the one person I would keep if I'm Tampa.
Atlanta is well coached. Same thing. If they get a good quarterback,
for sure,
a decent one, they can be in the middle of it. If they give Steve Wilkes the job in Carolina, Carolina's in the middle of it. This is going to be a closely contested division.
Yes.
Okay. So, it's like, okay, maybe you need to pull back the spring forward, like when you're drawing a bow. You got to pull back the spring forward. And Brady does not look like he's coming back to Tampa. It's time for a fire sale. That's it.
Steve, I hate with Mike Evans, but Mike Evans ain't gonna want to stay there if they rebuild, and I'm gonna just let you know that right now.
Yeah, because he still got some years in. He still got a couple of years in him.
Yeah, he's not gonna stay there.
He's
All right.
not. Yeah. All right. So moving forward, let's talk about the divisional round and these games that are coming up in the divisional round. So we have the Philadelphia Eagles coming off of their bye for being the number 1 seed, and they're playing the New York Giants, who played an outstanding game. Just like I watched Tom Brady play probably one of the worst games of his career. I think I watched Daniel Jones play one of the best games of his career.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was.
That's a well-coached team. That New York Giants team under Brian Daboll, OC Mike Kafaka, whatever his name is, and defense corner Wink Martindale. That's a well-coached team.
Oh my god.
Steve, you okay? What's wrong, Steve?
The Giants made the playoffs. I said it in here. I think some of y'all agreed. The Vikings were the worst playoff team this year.
Yeah, no, we all agreed on that. Well,
I don't like they're calling Daniel Jones. You know now, mind you, coming into the season, you know he was on a bubble, right? You know he was 1 year away from me out of the NFL. Y'all do know that, right? Now they're calling him the Vanilla Vic. Did you know that?
No, I heard
that's
that.
a bit
I heard
much.
they call it Vanilla Vic.
That's a bit much.
So
That's
you talking about a not impressive win? Oh, the Giants had one this past weekend. They had one. They're still dropping passes all over the place. Jones is still not a good quarterback in my opinion. He hikes the ball, he runs, he's fast. He's a fast runner. He's
mobile.
That can throw. That can throw. He's no different in my opinion if we're gonna go there than freaking what's his name in New Orleans?
Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston.
No.
What's his name? Eric's favorite football player of all time.
What's his name, man?
Wildcat quarterback / tight end.
Oh, you talking about Taysom Hill?
Yeah.
He's not even, in my opinion, Jones isn't better than him at quarterback. He has a better run.
Strong. No, that's damn. He said Daniel Jones not even better than a tight end. Wow.
Taysom Hill's stronger. He can throw just as well. He runs too. Daniel Jones just has Saquon Barkley. The Saints have Kamara, but they have that D line in New York, and they have 2 decent DBs. That's why they're winning. They're gonna lose to the Eagles. I had a conversation last night. You guys know this. It was someone that tried to tell me that this Giants team should be taken seriously because the Giants in 2007 won the Super Bowl. So I got to take this Giants team seriously. But they don't have OC. They don't have Strahan. They don't have Tuck. They don't have Michael Pierce. I know. But people are praising. What I'm saying is people praising the Giants this much is what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, I pumped the brakes.
Look. The Giants overachieved this year, just like the Seattle Seahawks overachieved this year. Okay. Yeah. They made it to the playoffs. Congratulations.
Brian Daboll deserves some sort of consideration for Coach of the Year for doing what he did with what he had.
And you better give Saquon a $100 million contract. Because without this guy, y'all, like last year, you're doing nothing.
Thank you.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Y'all better pay him now. Y'all owe him $100 million right now.
And just like Titus says, they need a wide receiver. Actually, they need a couple of receivers and some linemen. Because I tell you what, the lineman is trash.
Daniel Jones, man, get out of here.
That's the thing that bothers me the most about the Giants moving forward in this divisional round is they don't have a surefire number 1 wide receiver.
They don't.
And I don't know if this is the new and improved Daniel Jones or we're gonna go back to seeing old Danny Dimes minus 10 cents.
But
so I don't know we're gonna see that. Because I'm serious. I sat and watched this game and I'm like, that's Daniel Jones? Because he did some things, really did some things that shocked me in that game from what we're used to seeing.
But Eric, it's not just a true number 1. They're guys when they're open can't even catch the ball still.
This is true.
They need real number 2s first.
You don't have to tell me Richie James is a former 49er. We let him walk.
Hey, look.
They need number 2 receivers that can catch the ball. Then you go for the.
They gave Kenny Golladay that big contract coming over from Detroit, and what has he done?
He hadn't played, has he?
I'm saying this right now.
He played a few snaps, and he threw a good block in that game. That's what he did.
I'm saying this right now.
The season, his snap percentage is probably like below 25%.
I'm saying this right now. Everyone, they're loving the Giants. I get this New York big market. Sure, if the Giants and I don't even think Giants players think they can win the game. If they win somehow, some way, whoever wins the San Fran Dallas game is going to Super Bowl easily.
They're gonna murk them.
If they got to play the Giants,
they
won't get more than 10 points. I will put money on that. They're not getting more than 10 points in that
but
game.
I don't see them get. I just don't see them getting past the arrested Philadelphia team.
I don't. I'm just being facetious. I'm just playing to what the narrative.
Once Philadelphia goes up like 14-0, there's no need to watch the rest of the game.
Yeah. I don't see them.
I'm surprised they're in the playoffs. To be honest, I'm surprised the Giants made it. I really am. I'm really surprised.
Yeah. Steve, that's how bad the rest of the NFC is. Okay, you got San Francisco, you got Philly, you got Dallas.
The Lions will be a better matchup. The Lions will be tougher in.
Minnesota overachieved. New York Giants overachieved. Seattle Seahawks overachieved. And
Detroit
then the rest,
will be
and
a
the
tougher.
rest of the conference was like
seriously. Detroit will be tougher.
Oh, Detroit. I'm sorry, Detroit.
They'll be tougher in the playoffs versus the Giants.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get to what everybody's been waiting to talk about. Because I think this is going to be the highest rated game in the divisional weekend, and that's the Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, let me say this, and I said this last year, and because we have some very, very, how can I put it, enthusiastic fan bases here.
No, say what you want to say. No profanity.
We got some dumbasses on both sides. Okay, let's go ahead and call it what it is.
That's
okay, all right. Look at me, America. Look dead in the camera as I look at you. Whether you one of them Cowboy fans or whether you a Niners fan. Okay, don't put that up there because Nick is trolling. He trolling. Because I already read him for filth on Marco Polo earlier today.
Pando, stay focused, Pando. Come on, stay focused now. Come on.
Don't put up nothing up there. I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again this year because it's the same song, different verse. No team is going to dominate the other this Sunday. There are too many.
I agree with that.
That's not. I hear my inbox was blown up. People was texting me all this other stuff. The Cowboys gonna do this to the Niners. Like you a damn idiot. You an idiot. It's like we gonna whoop y'all. Like obviously you watch no 49er games if you actually did. We on an 11-game win streak right now. Okay, we are the healthiest we've ever been. Okay, on the flip side, I got some friends. I don't know if they watching right now. Y'all gonna be mad at me. I don't give a damn. Look at me. Look at me in the camera. I don't give a damn. This guy right here. We just got into it. I don't give a damn if he mad. I'm about to tell it like it is. Okay? Now the fans, y'all up here talking about what the hell y'all gonna do to the Cowboys. It's not going to happen. It's going to probably be a 1-score game. There is probably a 90% chance it's going to be a 1-score game. These teams are too evenly matched. Okay? And you got to put these aspects into it. Brock Purdy is playing out of his mind. His quarterback rating is like through the roof right now. He's throwing multiple touchdowns a game. But here's the thing. Brock Purdy is still a rookie. He's still a 7th-round rookie. We can't overlook that. Okay, the next thing, Dak Prescott played out of his mind last night. Dak Prescott still leads the league in interceptions. Just because he didn't give away one last night don't mean he ain't going to give away one to the number 1 defense in the league. Okay? Both teams' left corners are trash. Whoever lines up at left corner, stop putting up bullshit on this damn thing. You know Jamal is trolling too. Stop putting that up there. Okay. All right. Both left corners are trash. The sevens for Dallas and San Francisco at cornerback are dogs. Okay, but we both know you can exploit the other guy on the other side of the formation.
So I want to
Okay.
spell. I want to spell out how San Fran wins the game and how Dallas can win the game.
I tell you what, let's do this. I've already written some stuff right here. I'm
Okay,
gonna
go
give
ahead.
you San
You go ahead.
Francisco's keys to victory right here.
Okay.
You do Dallas. How about that? Is that cool?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Okay. So the first thing with San Francisco is you have to minimize coverage lapses. Okay, coverage lapses are basically eye discipline. Talanoa Hufanga has an issue where he tries to freelance instead of actually going and playing where D'Amico Ryans tells him to go. If he goes where D'Amico Ryans tells him to go, it's going to end up being a turnover or a broken up pass. Okay. The problem is, here's a fun fact. Talanoa Hufanga, all-pro safety this year. First team all-pro. Talanoa Hufanga, Pro Bowler. Talanoa Hufanga has only allowed 7 catches this year. 5 of them have been for touchdowns. So coverage lapses. Second thing, run the ball and be creative with the run. Okay. Dallas is ranked in the bottom half of the league against the run. Tampa Bay abandoned the run too soon. You have Christian McCaffrey, you have Deebo Samuel, you have Elijah Mitchell, you have Jordan Mason. A lot of people who don't follow 49 of football don't even know about this guy, and he's averaging about 9 yards a carry this year over all the games he's played. For the season, he's 9 yards a carry. Okay, run the ball. Okay, because that slows down that pass rush of Dallas, even though San Francisco's offensive line is pretty good. Be creative with the runs. I already got that. Brock Purdy has to have a moving pocket. He has, fun fact about Brock Purdy, runs about a 4.7 40, but here's the difference. His 10-yard split is 1.5. That's wide receiver speed. He has a 1.5 10-yard split in the 40. His first couple of steps are blazing. Now, don't ask him to run a 40, but the first couple of steps he can avoid, and you've seen it in games if you watched. Basically, keep him on the move. If he's on the move, he's already shown he can be accurate on the move. Okay? Force Dallas to turn the ball over. We know that the defensive line is a monster. They get strip sacks. They get tip balls. They turn into interceptions. Dallas did not turn the ball over at all last night. That's not who they are. I'm just going to be real with you. That's not who they are. They're going to turn the ball over one way or another. Okay. And then basically generate pass rush from someone other than Nick Bosa, because protection is going to shift over to Nick Bosa, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowl, possibly Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. So what happened last week, Charles Omenihu took over. When Charles Omenihu doesn't play, there's Samson Ebukam. When Samson Ebukam's not in, there's Jordan Willis. There's a wealth of depth on the defensive line. But the plays are going to have to come from other parts of the defensive line other than Nick Bosa. Now, and that's not saying Nick Bosa ain't going to make no plays. But those are basically the keys of victory. Oh, and lastly, this is the last thing. Don't come in the game with the big head. It's mentally. San Francisco got a lot of swagger. You know, if you follow them, they come into the game. Somebody got a boombox. They coming down the tunnel. You know, last year was Super Gremlin. This year is different songs and stuff. They ripped a sign from a Seattle Seahawks fan, tore it up and stomped on it before they ran on the field. I mean, that swagger is good, but bring that swagger to the field. Don't wait for somebody to do something to ignite you, like the Deebo Samuel Abram thing. They have to be ready to play from the snap all the way to the end of the game.
Okay.
So that's my keys.
So my turn. So I throw the stats out the window because now it's time to look at how people play. So stopping San Fran's run on defense, we have to. Primarily to the outside. San Fran does a lot of runs to the outside. They have a lot of weapons that can do that. Mitchell's fast, McCaffrey's fast, Debo's going to be doing sweeps and reverses all over. Outside containment is key. We're going to have to get pressure on Purdy. I know you say he runs the whatever with the 10-yard shuttle. That's fine. We got to do exotic blitzes. We got to run stunts and zone blitzes in there. Um, I think it's really. I think a lot of it is up front. And it comes down to who makes the least mistakes. I think your defense is tremendous, so we got to really work hard on blocking them properly, reading blitzes pre-snap, picking up blitzes if you're in the backfield. Um, we're gonna use our tight end a whole lot still. Um, Pollard needs 20 touches yet again. He needs 20 touches. It's gonna be a hell of a game, man. I mean, it's we can say the keys, but it comes down to who stays disciplined during this big game, man. It's gonna be a freaking heck of a game.
Definitely.
The thing is that basically I'm more afraid of Tony Pollard than I am of Ezekiel Elliott. I really am.
Of course, everyone is.
And I said this before. We was talking about it in our chats. The one team can't try to play the other team's game, and this is what I mean. Okay, San Francisco is physical. They are blunt force trauma.
Oh yeah. Oh listen,
They
I'm
are
gonna cut you off. We gotta get creative with our play calls. We're not gonna win the trenches against San Fran's D line, or really O line's gonna be a match. D line, it's gonna be hard to stop them. And if you rush more than 4 or 5, it's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be tough.
But what I was saying was, if you want to compare the teams to vehicles, the Dallas Cowboys are like a sports car. You know, with handling and all, you know, sports handling, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Lotus, all of those. The 49ers are F-250 with a lift kit, 4x4 with mud tires. That's how they're built.
That's a good analogy. That's a good one.
If the Cowboys try to get into a physical game with the 49ers, they're going to lose. If the 49ers try to get into a track meet with the Cowboys, they are going to lose. Okay? One team cannot play the other team's game. If they try to get into playing that team's game, it's going to be problems for the other one. The Dallas Cowboys cannot match the physicality. They try, but it does not match up. See last year's game. They tried to be physical and they got pushed. Michael Parsons got bodied by Brandon Ayuk on a run play. It was a sweep. Brandon Ayuk pushed him completely out the play. That's a wide receiver. That's a 190-pound wide receiver pushing a damn big-ass linebacker out the play. And it's like, you're not going to out-physical them. If any of y'all saw the divisional round, the receivers block. The wide receivers block like fullbacks, okay? That's the brand of football that the 49ers play. The Cowboys, except for when Zeke is on the field, but when the Cowboys on the field, especially with Tony Pollard on the field, they are a just fast type of offense. We're going to get here. We're going to get there. We're going to beat you to this corner. We're going to run around this edge. We're going to beat you to this corner. We're going to get around it. We're going to get fast. If the 49ers try to get into that type of deal, we're going to chunk it deep. We're going to chunk it deep to T.Y. Hilton. We're going to all of that stuff like that. If the 49ers try to get into that type of game with Dallas, then it's going to be a problem. One team has got to force their will on the other team. Whoever does that successfully will win that game. But the last thing I want to say is, Cowboys fans, Niners fans, if you're saying that this is going to be an easy win and you finna dominate or everything else, have a couple bleach on the rocks while jumping out of the window. Okay? Okay? Because you sound dumb. Put the crack pipe down, make a Windex cocktail, just stop. Okay? For real. I said this last year. Everybody said I was crazy. Wasn't it a one-score game last year?
It was.
Thank you. And it's going to be a one-score game again this year because these teams are evenly matched. Unless the only way it's not going to be is if one team completely craps the bed and somebody collapses. That's the only way things will get out of hand. but it won't be because the other team just outdid them. It's going to be because one team just said, "Here, we don't want to win."
All right.
That's it. It won't be because like Tampa was out there doing the best they could. They just couldn't match up.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Seattle was out there doing the best they could. They just couldn't match up, and both them teams got blown out. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about where either Dallas collapses or San Francisco collapses, and that's the only way this game is going to get out of hand. But if both teams are playing just their best football, it's going to be a one-score game, which brings me to my last point. We can wrap up. If it comes down to a field goal,
all right.
Oh, it ain't gonna be Dallas.
All right. So
that's my point.
I'll say it
real quick. All right. So, all right. We got 2 games. Let's speed through it. We got Kansas City, Jacksonville. Talk to me, somebody.
I forgot about them. I am so sorry. We should have covered them.
I thought we did.
We did not cover Kansas City and Jacksonville.
No, he's right. We didn't. We didn't.
We didn't cover the 2 AFC
We wanted to cover Dallas.
They take the feet off the gas.
Last. So Kansas City, Jacksonville. I think Kansas City runs away with it unless Jacksonville has another miracle in their back.
That's what I'm saying. Unless Kansas City lets the feet off the gas. I said it earlier. Unless they take the pressure off and they get comfortable, Jacksonville can come back. But
now that being said, Kansas City's defense ain't great. Outside of Chris Jones, they're not great.
That's true.
They're not great. They
but
just
it's hard to stop KC's offense, though.
Yes, their offense is their defense. Basically, we're gonna put up this many points. Let's see if you can catch up.
Exactly.
That's basically what they do.
That's perfectly said.
Yeah. So
that's a good one.
So, but here's the thing: Jacksonville is equipped to put up points in a hurry. They can do that. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't pick playoff games. I just say
I feel like
that's gonna be a good one too.
I feel like Jacksonville's not ready to go to a track meet with Kansas City though. That's just my personal opinion.
No, I don't think they can. Let me rephrase it. I think they could.
Yeah, they could.
In the grand scheme of things,
they're not ready.
So I don't know.
They're not ready.
And they could shock us. Hell, they just came back 20-some points.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could.
All right.
That's why I don't pick playoff games.
All right.
Okay.
Cincinnati and Buffalo.
Who? Okay, so here's the thing. We have discovered that Buffalo has a very good pass rush without Von Miller. They do. Their pass rush is very good. It's a bunch of no-name guys on that defensive line, outside of Ed Oliver. Everybody knows who Ed Oliver is. Mm-hmm. But there's some guys that was getting to the quarterback. I was like, who the hell is that?
Well,
and they've been,
if we're going off the game from a couple of weeks ago, Cincinnati was about to go up early, a lot on them, effortlessly before the tragedy happened.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. It was 6 minutes of the game. They were only down by 4.
But they got a first down on the 30-yard line when that happened. So they were marching with effortlessly.
And I understand that.
It could have went either way. I'm just saying.
Right. And I understand that. Now, if you would have said, if before the DeMar Hamlin tragedy happened, if Cincinnati was up like 17-3, okay. But a 4-point lead in the first 6 minutes of the game, we've seen 4-point leads dissipate. Okay. When you got 2 good teams on the field, we've seen that countless amounts of times.
And that was too early. That was too early.
It's way too early. They had only played 6 minutes. So Jamal says Bills, and it's not even close to time because of that line.
And again, I would love the Bills. I would love the Bills to go to the Super. I will. Y'all don't even understand. I would love that to happen.
I know you do.
But,
okay, so
I don't, that's up in the air. I don't know.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing with Cincinnati, they have coached with bad offensive lines before and had success. That's one thing. That's one factor you cannot ignore. They had a horrible offensive line and made it all the way to the Super Bowl that way. So obviously, this staff knows how to work around it.
Right.
Okay. So stranger things have happened. Mm-hmm. So you can't ignore that factor. It's like, well, we just right where we was last year. Let's pull out these plays for this line, and let's run these. So it's possible. Buffalo has got to commit to.
Can't call it. Yeah, I can't call it.
Buffalo's got to commit to the run.
They don't do that.
They got to run more than 26 times. They got 2 good running backs. They should run more than 26 times.
They're not going to run more than 26 times. I promise you that. They will not do that. They will not do that this week. I promise.
What they'll do is
15 times.
They'll be using their quarterback as a running back, which is insane because they're gonna get this man hurt. And I'm gonna tell you, the day that this Josh Allen gets really hurt, it may be this year, it may be next year. But I'm gonna come on this show and I'm like, we told you, didn't we? Didn't we tell you?
I'm gonna say this, man.
Didn't we tell you, America?
I'm gonna say if and I'm a standards guy. I'm about expectations. If Sean McDermott can't win this game, he may need to be on a hot seat too. They have too much talent in Buffalo, man, to not get past this daggone point every year. I mean, they went to the AFC Championship a couple times, but you clearly can't figure this out, man.
Buffalo should win this game, but I'm not making any. And like I said, I don't make playoff picks.
Got you.
They should win this game, but don't forget about the factors I said about Cincinnati. That's the.
Trust me, I'm telling y'all, they are getting the pass only mode second half of the third quarter, and that's what it's going to be for the rest of the game. I promise y'all that. No matter what Cincy's doing, they can be like, all right, Josh Allen, do your thing, and that's what it's going to be. That's what
you're saying. So you're thinking that Allen is going to throw like 50 times in this game?
Close to it, absolutely, yes, close to it.
If he throws 50 times, he might throw 2 or 3 interceptions. Or
I don't disagree with that.
He might turn the ball. If it's not 2 or 3 interceptions, it's gonna be 2 or 3 turnovers.
It only got to be picks. He's gonna throw between 43 and 50 times this game. It could be completions. It could be whatever. He's gonna throw between 43 and 50 times this game. I promise y'all that. I watched him too much. I'm telling y'all, that's what is going to happen.
So over/under on Josh Allen interceptions.
The over/under should be set at
2.
No, 1.5.
2 or less. Yeah, 2 or less.
Okay. Now don't forget Eli Apple's still out there because we can't leave that. We can't ever forget that Eli Apple is out there.
But he forces too many passes, man. Someone's gonna get it. He's desperate to be a playmaker. They're making him be a playmaker when he doesn't have to be. Sometimes we know he's talented. He's gonna roll out, run, and throw a last minute. And someone's gonna grab it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Right.
I'm telling y'all, man.
Eli Apple's still out there.
All right. So
he can get one.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that was another week of Just a Fan Podcast. We are currently live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can follow us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also listen to us on Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Hey, on the YouTube channel, we at 181 subscribers, which means we need 19 more to get to 200. Please help us out. Hit that first. Hit the like button, that thumbs up button. Hit that.
So thumbs up, subscribe.
Yeah, hit the get the algorithm. Make sure other people hit that like button when you send it to them, and make sure they subscribe. Hit that notification bell too, also, where they know when we're going live. Okay. Like I said, share this thing. You can share by text message, email, whatever you need to do. Can we get that 19 up by next week? Hopefully. Down below, Steve White, wide receiver, Morgan State University. Hands like Chris Carter, baby.
I wish.
Panel 316 right, middle linebacker.
I hit everything.
He hits everything. He hits like
I hit everybody.
He hits like Ronnie Lott, baby. Y'all better know it.
I will cut this pinky finger off so I can get in the game.
I actually believe that. Look at that. Look at that.
All right. Coach Williams, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this whole thing. The NFL Encyclopedia. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Peace, y'all.